Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach, and I just did a whole bunch of cleanup stuff on this Transpire project so I can finally get to the problem I was trying to solve originally. I actually put out a tweet, which let me clear out some of these things here. So I put out this tweet to David Fowler, and he did reply today and said basically the advice he's giving here. I do like what Ruben put back with, which is the that just cracks me up. I don't know why, but that does. I'm going to grab that, make sure I've got that in the notes for this one. Okay, so back at it to get to what I was originally trying to do in the first place. By the way, I had to put in performance and editor config because when you make a program file, it actually doesn't apparently make it a static class, which I think is wrong. It should make it a static class, or at least I should have the option to do that. And then it's like, well, then why would you even, have the top level statement thing in the first place? But that seems to collide with, well, you can't see it because I want to open it up as a text document, not a, I just want to say text. Can I say text? No, I can't say text. I just want to say text. Oh, source, fine. There. So I want to say this one has none in this project because there's just no reason to do that. So anyway, okay, what am I trying to do? Let's get back to this parameterless constructor. So if I come here, and what I want to say is abstract or seal, blah, the parameter count. Okay, so what we want to, let me get my bearings straight. Let me get my bearings straight. So what I want to do, let's run all the tests again and try to find the one thing that was failing, and then I can fix that. So you can run all through these tests. There you go. And it's basically saying that must have a public. And that's true, is that it actually, but if it's sealed, why is in that case? Oh, no. Oh, that's right, because when it's protected, that's why. I forgot. Because when it's abstract, it makes it protected, and that was the whole reason. Even though we know that this is something we don't public this. Okay. That's a bad thing. You don't want to do that, but for the purposes of this test, I just want this one thing to fail, not a bunch of things. Okay, so I just want this thing to fail. And now it passes. Good. The one thing left here is passing a class when it's abstract, when it's sealed, public parameterless constructor. God, this is going to analyze when passing proxy type when parameterless constructor is private. Okay. Now we want to have one here that says analyze when public constructor has parameters. Public constructor has parameters. So in this case, what we want to do is say this, but we'll just pass in that, and that's wrong. So now what we need to do here is we need to say, if it's a method, and this is where we're going to have to cast it because we need it to be, and method symbol of except we need dot parameters. Is it count or length? Must be, no. Oh yeah, it is length. Just there. Now, let's think about this. So what we want to do is find one that is a method, and it is public, and it is not static, and it is a constructor, and it has 0 parameters. If we can't find that, then we have a problem. Okay. So now this one should, you little, nope. Oh no, it's going to, yeah, it's going to fail for that reason. It should fail for that reason. And it does. Yep. Okay. I was just like, I thought we needed a separate one, but no, we don't. We just need this one. Now the bigger test, let's run all these, make sure these all work. And then these all work. Let's make sure every test works. And then we're going to write the scenarios, see them light up like a Christmas tree in the Rosalind Hive. And then we should be done with this. And I can go to dinner because we're going to go to have Mexican tonight. I don't know if I said that already, but that's what we're doing. So yay. I can drink alcohol today too. It's not like I'm going to have a ton of beers, but you need to wait a day after the procedure. So, and after this episode, I hope to never talk about that procedure again. All right. So we got that. Let's go into scenarios. And what else did I have to do there? Oh, I had to add a share, and I put in the CLS compliance because this is actually a .NET framework based thing. I don't think you can make extensions that are not framework based. So I just said, screw it. I'm not going to fight this. I'll just put that in for this one and be done with it. So what we can do here though, is we want to we'll call it using dispatch proxy create. Okay. So we're going to have this. Okay. Now what we need is a whole bunch of just public interface sure, because we don't care. Public class correct dispatch proxy, which inherits from dispatch proxy, and yes, and then we need you to implement it, and we don't care how you do it because that's not the big thing. Now we need a class here that is using dispatch proxy. Now we need this where we're going to say abstract dispatch proxy, and we're going to make a public constructor even though we shouldn't. And I'm just, what did I I don't think I meant to copy as much as I did that. Okay. Oh, geez, come on. Now this is probably going to yell at some point and saying, no, you don't want to do that. Then we're going to make a sealed one. Okay. And then we're going to make a one that has a private constructor dispatch proxy, private. And then I think the last case that we care about is a public case of a constructor with parameters, dispatch proxy. So this is going to be public, and we're going to have int a, even though we never use a. That's okay. So let's have public void correct usage, which is dispatch proxy create, passing an I using dispatch proxy and the correct dispatch proxy. And we could say this returns, what is it? A I using dispatch proxy. So we don't really care. Okay. Oh, come on. There you go. And then we're going to do that. And it has to be static because we can't. There. Okay. Now we're going to say correct usage. We're going to say passing class to T. This should fail because T is getting a class. Like that. Why are you... Oh. Okay. Now, passing abstract proxy type. So now we're going to say abstract dispatch proxy, and we should say here this should fail because T proxy is getting an abstract type. Okay. Then we need to do the same thing for sealed. Sealed. Passing sealed. And then we need to do a getting an sealed type, a sealed type. And then we need one here that says this should fail because T proxy is getting a type with a private constructor, passing proxy type with private constructor, private constructor dispatch proxy, and then we should have one more that says show with a constructor with parameters. Passing proxy type with constructor having parameters. What did I call this? Constructor with parameters. And that is public. Okay. There. It's just that simple. It is just that simple. All right. So this is the last test. Once this actually fires up, because it's probably going to take some time to actually show up. Once it gets to the screen where we are in Hive, I will show what it's doing. This is why tests are great, but you can't just rely upon unit tests either. Because this does work, you'll see that it does work, but these are all infos. These are just smudges. These are not errors, and that's what we want. And my test just assumes that when we look at the descriptor, that it's actually the right value. I don't question it. You see what I mean? If I actually come down here to my test for verify. Oh, that's why. Okay, I will take that back. It's because I didn't even write the test for it yet. I'll usually do this, and then I'll say info. Yeah, so fair enough. I should have written the test, and that's why. But these are all coming back as infos, and these should be error. Okay? That's what we want. So let's come back up here. We did that one. This is error. This is, come on, error. And this is error. There we go. Do that. Run all the tests again. And then I will fire up the scenarios and we'll see if we get red. So I'll be back in just a minute. And as you can see, glorious. We have all the red in the right spots. Let's see if we're actually getting the right red message, though. So if I hover over this, T must be an interface. That's correct. T must not be abstract. That's correct. Oh, no. T proxy. Yes, that's right. Must not be sealed. T proxy must have a parameterless constructor. And T proxy must have a parameterless constructor. I could say they're public parameterless constructor. In fact, I'm going to make that change here right quick because this really should be a must have a public parameterless constructor. And we're going to be really Java-like, and change this to public and change all the things. Okay. Yes, I'm going to like do a final run through with this being in release mode and running all the tests and everything else. But I think at this point it's pretty much done, which I'm really happy about. So, you know, I've got a whole other list of things to do, but this is one of those that's been extremely, you know, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot more doing this one little simple thing about what I notice about dispatch proxy create, and seeing that there are these rules on the generic types that aren't, that aren't handled by constraints, where in some cases that couldn't happen, but in one case it could, but why you couldn't, and code analysis and all these things that I've been doing over the last, I don't know, 5-6 episodes. Small thing, by investigating it, I've learned a lot more than I did before, and that's always a good thing. This is why I tell people, always try stuff. Even if somebody's already done it before, even if somebody's already done this one thing before, it doesn't matter. Do it yourself. Don't necessarily look at the previous literature, because if you're just copy and pasting, yeah, there's benefit in learning what somebody else did, and I totally support that. But if you're trying to build something yourself, I mean, if you're just copy and pasting what somebody already done before, that's kind of missing the point. But do stuff. You're going to learn from it, just like what I did here. And I feel a little bit better about that. So next episode, I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I've got a whole list of things to do, and I will pick one of them. So thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.